Okay.
Okay, Spence Kelsey here again. I just wanted to share some principles of mental health that sometimes, as a mental health provider, when I'm talking to other people in the field, that we talk about, and just to share with you some of these definitions. So, some of the fundamentals we use the word external, and then we use the word internal. And then locus of control. So first of all, basically the definition of external is if I'm interviewing somebody that's external, he might say, or he might look at things that need changing only in the way that others could change things. And I probably didn't even read that right. So basically, if something needed to get done, he or she would just completely rely on everybody else to do it. The definition of internal is I look at things changing only, but I only see myself. And so you can see how both ways too far could be problematic. So I don't have a team at all. I'm alone in this world. I'm totally internal. I'm external, meaning that it's everybody else's fault. I blame everybody else, and that's the way I see things. Locus of control is the extent that a person believes that he or she can make a difference, and the ability to kind of see that, go, oh, I could do that. I could make this change. You mean I could improve my symptoms of depression by like going for a walk in the mornings? Oh. Now, we used to have this debate in mental health. People used to say, well, don't say they can go on a walk. That won't cure depression. Well, you're right. It probably won't cure it, but can it help? Well, there's a good possibility that it could, and I'm not saying that, yeah, everything can just be solved like that, but there's a term we also use in mental health, behavioral activation. And so one of the key ways we address things like depression is by choosing behaviors that really help. That could mean service to others. Now, does that solve everything? Again, no, but it can lead to better satisfaction in your life and better purpose and better meaning. So then thoughts, we call them cognitions. I don't know why, we just have to be different. And then those are thoughts, and then metacognitions. That is an interesting one. That basically means thinking about your thoughts. Now, probably a lot of you remember President Hinckley. He was a big person, a big advocate for meditation. Now, some people have the wrong idea about meditation. Some people think you have to be kind of different or strange to, meditate, that you have to sit in some kind of yoga pose or something like that. Well, you don't have to. Meditation is just thinking. And then it's thinking about how you do things, and even thinking about the way you think about things. And so there's a reason I introduce these terms. And one of the reasons is, and I'm just going to read it, there was a quote by Alain de Botton, and apparently it's a French person, but anyway, said, the difference between hope and despair is a different way of telling stories from the same facts. Let me read that to you one more time. The difference between hope and despair. Notice those are two Book of Mormon words that kind of go together. The difference between hope and despair is a different way of telling stories from the same facts. So the facts don't change. It's just I'm telling the story a different way. So a prime example of that in the Book of Mormon is from Nephi chapter 17. In the first 3 verses of Nephi chapter 17, Nephi says things like, our women became strong enough so that they could bear the burden of being in this hostile wilderness environment. And here they are, and they're making it. We can see the blessings of the Lord are so rich that we're able to meet the challenges that we're facing. On the other hand, Laman and Lemuel told a totally different story. Same journey, same family, yet they were talking about how cursed they were, how awful it feels, and just what a horrible event this was in their lives. So again, same story, and interestingly enough, that is an amazing principle. And just in the first few pages of the Book of Mormon, that's brought out. Isn't that amazing? One of the evidences of the truthfulness of the restoration of the gospel right there. Joseph Smith must have been a really smart man. But actually he was, but he translated the Book of Mormon. It was already in there. So anyway, principles of I can change the narrative. I can look at the same story. I can look at my life, and by telling it a different way, with just a few minor details, maybe a few observations. Maybe I'm at work, in my shop, or in my backyard, in my kitchen, wherever, and I'm thinking about the way I think about things, and all of a sudden I have this epiphany, and I'm thinking, what if I just change that detail? Still the same facts, but a better story. And that's how we can overcome a lot of the symptoms of mental health illness, or, it's not a fix-all again. Sometimes fixing means years or months or weeks, but we're on to something, right? Sometimes giving us a little hope means everything. So that'll conclude this session.